Today I'm going to show you how to turn your favorite drawing like this into a simple stencil. Okay guys, so this was sent to me by a subscriber of ours who wants to turn this into a stencil. Now guys, I know some of you are probably thinking, why don't you just draw it out on your thing and paint it in, and that's fine. Some people like to do that, some people just really like their stencils, and I kind of agree with it. I would stencil it as well. I think it would come out a lot smoother than brush stroke lines, and I just like that clean, smooth look. But any image you want to turn into a stencil can pretty much be turned into a stencil without a computer program. If you want it to look really clean, really real, like somebody's an actual person's face or something like that, and you want it to look more real than this 2D, this flat cartoon look, then you would use a computer program. For those of you who want those kind of multi-layer stencil type tutorial, I am getting to making those. I've been making that. It's been giving me a lot of trouble to video that, because you have to video it online, and the program used to video it has been a pain in the butt, not working as well as I'd want it to work, and so I keep restarting and fixing things, and it's just been kind of a problem to make. But these flat ones, these 2D ones, cartoon-like ones, are really easy to turn into a stencil, so I'm going to show you guys how to do that here today. First off, I want to say thank you to our subscriber, Mr. I do believe the last name is Sapp. Thank you very much for requesting this and sending us this image, and for us to show you how to turn it into a stencil, guys. So do pay attention, and let's see if I can help you out with it, because this is just how I do it. So let's see if we can turn it into a cool stencil for you guys. First off, when you take your image, if it's a color image, before I black and white it, because the printer color, I don't use color ink, but I usually do things in like a 3 or 4 layer and figure it out from there. But you don't have to black and white it if you use ink color, or you want to you just know where your colors are, okay? But first, when you look at your image, you know what colors are what. When it's a colored image, you'll know that like this here would be like blue or purple, and then your white. So you want to count each color that's on the page. So for this one, I'm doing it in black and white, so we're going to count it by black and white colors, and we're going to go ahead and just say there's 3: black, white, and then gray. And then I probably might do the eyes a dark gray just to have them stand out, so we'll do probably 4 colors. Okay guys, so you want to count the colors, and then you want to make a copy for each color, because you're going to end up cutting out only the one color from each sheet. So you're going to do white on one sheet, cut out just the white, black on one sheet, just the black, and gray on one sheet, just the gray, and then the dark gray on the other sheet. If you're doing other colors, red, orange, red on one sheet, yellow on one sheet, and I'm just thinking about Pikachu now for some reason, so so that's how we're going to do it, and I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. Now on this image it does not cut here, so we don't have a solid image, and the background color turns into here, and that's cool. So if you want to leave it like that and keep it separate from it, you would really just do the background on your painting, on your sheet. Let's see, we'll get a sheet. You would really just color the background, and for this one we would do gray, so we would just color the background the gray, and then we would just cut out a stencil for the white and a stencil for the black. So you would only need 2 sheets, and then you would just lay down your stencil sheets, and in this case the black can go on top of the white, so we would do white first, and I'll show you guys how to cut that out for the thing. We would just cut out the entire silhouette of this all the way around and down around the corner here, just the silhouette of it, and we would put it down, white it, and then when it dries you would do your next one, where you would do just the black pieces, put it down, black it, and then it would come out like this, and you would go back in and you would put in your detail with a brush or a pen or something, and you would put in your little details there for the rest of that. Now if you want to use the face as a color, I'm going to do that with gray. I actually did that with it. You would just make a line, and just connect the areas. So there it is. And that's how I'm going to do this one. You don't have to do it like this, but that's how I'm going to do it. So we have gray, and then I'll do the eyes dark gray. Then we have white and black. So we have 4 colors, and we have 4 sheets. 4 sheets. Now, I do have 4 sheets, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 sheets. So now to line them up really well, I would suggest taking and making a mark where they're all even. So get it down, make a mark where they're all even. Like I like to make like a little square. And that is kind of difficult to cut through 4 pieces. And then another little square in the other corner, and then you just really just line up those squares with each sheet when you put it down. And when you line up the squares, you'll have a perfect lining up of the images. But when you color in these little squares, color them in real light, because you do have to cover them up. Okay guys, so cutting this out, it's just paper, so it can tear if you're not careful, so do be really careful. Make sure you use a sharp new blade. This one's a little old, so it might tear. If you want it to be a little thicker and a little easier to cut out, and something where it won't absorb as much paint or anything, if you're worried about that, I have a video for that. I will put that in the link down below for you guys, and do check that out. It's how to make your paper not as absorbent and make the stencil a little stronger. And so do check that video out, guys. Okay, now for this, we're gonna go ahead and say that it is the white. So we have white, and that's what we're gonna cut out, is the white. Now for the white, it's real easy. Just cut out, as I stated earlier, just cut out. Now this isn't going to be cut out really well, guys, because I'm not making a painting with this thing here, because I think that would be a little rude to the person who's going to make something with it. You know, if I make it, he might feel like he doesn't want to make it now because somebody else already did, and stuff like that. So I'm not going to make a painting out of it. I'm just showing you guys how to make it into a stencil. Now this, guys, works for this way of making a little stencil thing works for any 2D, like little flat cartoon like image, like a coloring book page image, an image from old cartoons like the Flintstones and stuff like that. And this works for all of that. So see, guys, we'll just go around all this. We're not cutting out each individual white section. There's no need to do that with this layer, because the black's just going to cover up the white that we don't need anyways. Now we're not going all the way across here. If you wanted to go all the way across, you can actually go all the way across here and connect this up and have just this whole piece out and make it white. In fact, you know what, for this one, because there's so much white, I think that's what we're going to do. I think I will do that. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. I find, you know, for you guys this would probably be a lot easier. So we're going to cut it out completely and make a silhouette image. And so what we're doing with it is taking, and did I not cut that? I did not cut that. How did I miss it? Alright, so we're going to take the whole image out for white, and that will be white, guys. That will be white. So, and now you can actually do this. You can actually do this entire image as the underlined gray if you wanted for the skin, and then build upon that and make this one gray instead. You see what I'm saying, guys? I don't know if you guys are following that. So then if this is entirely gray, you make the next one that's white, just cut out white, you're putting it on top, and you're layering it out. You want to layer it out. Being this white is actually on top of, like right here, it sits on top of the skin, and it's underneath. I think that's what we'll do. We'll actually make this gray. So try not to be confusing for you guys, but sometimes in the middle of a plan, you change your plan, guys. So we're actually going to make this one gray. Now I will paint this out one just real quick for you, just to show you what it's like and what I'm talking about, but I'm not going to make an actual like full-fledged painting, guys, okay? So, and you do kind of sometimes want to keep this, and I will explain to you why we want to keep this whole big section here later at the end for you guys, okay? So we have that one, that's the gray, and then I'm thinking we will go ahead and make this one just the eyes, so we'll go ahead and make that dark gray. Okay, you don't have to write it on here, guys. I just write it on there just so you remember which one's which. If you have a lot of stencils, it does help. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and make this one the dark gray. I think we'll leave the lips black just because how dark they are, just to show you guys. But if you're making these in colors, you make that one blue. You may want to make a different stencil to just put out this here, or again, just use a brush or a pen and put it in, but you may want to make that a different color. Instead of blue, make her lips purple or red or green or some kind of alien thing to go with her. Okay? I do believe this is what is her name? Ahsoka, right? So for this one, we're going to go ahead and cut out the white. Now this one's going to be a little difficult. Do be very careful. There's a lot of small corners and cuts and turns here for the white in her face here, guys. And the white connects here with this one, so we'll probably just bring that all the way down, and we'll just have to fill in that black line. You guys see what I'm saying? That white connects really good to that white, so, and to cut it out here and leave that black line there, it's going to be almost pointless, really. It's going to spray under, so you might as well just cut that out all the way right there, and we'll just fill in that black line later. So those are just little things to keep in mind when cutting out your stencil, guys. So we're going to start with the small things here, and with the regular paper, so make sure you get the finger right pretty close. Don't cut yourself, but to keep the paper from tearing, because it will tear this computer paper. It's just real thin. And once again, guys, I have a video on how to prevent this and make it a little make it a lot stronger, actually, if you guys want to check out that video. Don't mind me if I get a little quiet, guys. I just gotta concentrate not to cut myself with this thing. I do have a tendency to sometimes get this blade right up on the finger. I don't really want to do that in the video for you guys. It doesn't feel good, and then I'll probably just start laying out some words nobody needs to hear, or a lot of editing, right? So we'll just quickly fly through this for you guys and speed it up, and so you guys don't have to sit here for hours watching me cut little pieces of white lines out of here. Yes, nobody wants to watch me cut white lines. Oh man, they have a movie for that, guys. Alright, so we'll speed through this real quick for you and get you back into where we want to be, okay? Alright, guys. Okay, guys, so here we're almost done cutting this out. Let's see where we're at. Alright, there, I've cut out most of the white. I need to do this piece here. We'll leave the eyes, those will just be dotted, but take these out. Now here, I left this piece of black here, and I left that piece of black there as well. We don't have to leave that one. The idea was to leave this here connected. I actually have to tape it back some, because if not, this flows and can move out of position. So we just want to make sure we keep it connected in places like a stencil to make sure that it doesn't move too much out of place, because this big long scrawny little thing here, and it slides out of place, it will mess up the positioning of the rest of your stencils. So just wanted to explain that one out for you guys. I know that you might have seen that and thought, what is that and why did he do it? Now you know. So plans change. Like here we did the white. I know I said dark gray, and that's just what I do. I say one color and then decide to start going with the other. Okay, so there we are. That's what we have, some kind of snake lady here, right? Alright, so that's our white. Set it aside carefully, don't let it all ruined. And then here, I think we will actually do the dark gray this time. How about that? Okay. We'll do the dark gray this time. It's not much, it's just the eyes. You can do them in by hand. I would at least do the eyes. Cut the part of the eyes out just so you have everything lined up where it should be. You do them by hand, you put one too close to the other, they start to look cross-eyed, things like that. So I know so much paper for that tiny little thing there. I agree. Now how we can, I didn't discuss this, but how to make all the copies for this thing here. You can either copy it out, just print that many sheets, or you can just print one and then trace the other ones on it. Guys, just put in your corners so everything lines up fine. Put them in first, trace it, so in case while you're tracing it, the paper moves, you can just reline up your corners, but trace it out. How to trace it out, if you can't see through the thing, is you can buy a light box. They sell them at craft stores, they sell them on Amazon. You can make a light box. Honestly, all it is if you have a table, some kind of glass table in the house, like a corner end table or something, and a table that has glass on it, just put your paper on it and put like a flashlight or a lamp underneath it to shine the light up through, and that's it. So here we're going to do the black. Now we're not doing these in a specific order yet. I will arrange them in the right order and I'll show you guys what I'm talking about. You guys can be thinking about it. Remember what we said. Since these other things lay on top of the skin, we'll do the skin under and work our way out, guys. So here for the black, this one will be the most cutting, I think, because here we want to try to get as much of the detail as we can, minus the lines. We don't have to do the lines. We can do those with a brush or a pen or marker, because trying to get the lines, spray painting them, you're going to get a lot of blow under and it's going to look really shabby. You want to get it to look as best as you can. So we're going to cut out the black, and we got to be careful of pulling where we cut out the black and then all of a sudden a whole section of the white falls through. The idea is to cut out the black but leave the white on this paper. So we're not going to cut all the way down here to these other ones, because that will allow the white to fall out. We want to pretend this line is like white. This line's white because we want to keep them connected to the paper. Okay? That's the idea. If you have it fall through, you're going to end up painting it, and it's going to paint that section black, and then the white will become black, and you're going to ruin your thing. So here we will just have to marker them in with a paint pen or a paintbrush. So just cut out the black areas. I'll give you an example here. Just the black areas. And you got to be careful because we don't want to cut out the gray as well. We want to leave them there as well. This can be a little tedious and a little annoying, confusing at first, but it's you'll get used to it. The more you do it, you'll find that it's a lot easier than you first thought. But there, how we see, I didn't quite cut all the way through the thing. We're not going to cut down the line here to this one. We're going to just marker that in. We're not cutting this thick black line here out. For this one, we probably could cut that whole piece of black line out, but I just find it easier to use a paint pen or a paintbrush. guys, paintbrushes are really cheap up at the store. Just get you a thinnest paintbrush you can find and go with it. If you want to know how to clean them, I have a video on a useful item that does clean spray paint off of brushes very well. I would try to get a hair brush, not a hair brush, but a brush made with hair versus the plastic nylon-y ones, but you can get the plastic like nylon ones if that's what you want to get. Some people probably say the other way around, don't get the hair ones because of the thing, but the stuff I use to clean the brushes, it does, what it is the paint of spray paint is actually kind of like a plastic, and this stuff does tend to eat some of that plastic, so you don't want to end up melting your brush. It does work if you don't leave the chemical stuff in the on the paintbrush too long, just enough to get it off. Don't let it soak in it. But I explain kind of that inside the video, I do believe, so do check that video out. You can find it on the page. I do believe it's called something like how to clean your caps. So check that out, guys. Alright, so we're going to go through this and do this real quick, guys, and we'll be right back for you to see it. I know, once again, you don't want to see me cut lines. It's not exactly all that fun to watch somebody just cut out these lines here. But I'll do a couple more, show you what I mean, what I'm doing. See, once again, we left the black line because we don't need that wobble and everything. That's easy, just to, you can paint that, you know, everybody's got a steady enough hand to go whoop, whoop, okay? So that's what we're doing here, just cut out just the main detailed black sections of the painting, of the image for your painting. Alright. So see, guys, that's where we're at with that. I'm going to go ahead and get the rest cut out, and then we'll be right back for you guys, okay? Okay, guys, so here we are. We have all of the black cut out that I'm willing to cut out. A lot of these long lines here, these thicker ones, again, just, they're straight lines. Straight lines are some of the easiest ones to paint, right? So I want to leave them so it keeps it connected, because we don't want these pieces flapping in the wind. Okay, because so you get like this little one here, see it flapping in the wind, and when you blow, when you even if you're a foot away from it and you missed it, it moves, and then you get underneath it, and that ruins your underside color. And being that it's white, it'd be a problem. But there was not much to do about that one there. I should have kept it connected right there and just painted that tiny little piece there. I hope you guys kind of understand what I'm saying there, but that is how we do it. Now, the order in which we're going to paint these is pretty simple. We kind of talked about it already, so let's kind of get to it. First, we want to paint the gray, because that's part of the skin there, right? That's the skin, and they background other things, so the skin, and we're going to work our way out. The skin doesn't sit on top of the hair, right? On top of the, I'm going to call it her hair. It's more like a tentacle, but I'm going to say it's like hair. And so the skin doesn't sit on top of that, so we're going to do that. I mean, it does right here in this section, but more sits on top of the skin than everything else. And this is just how I go about doing it. The order in which you do it is up to you. You'll do it and figure out that you're covering up other things, and then you have to reuse that stencil again, and it can be a pain in the butt. So just work your way from the back to the front. So I'm going to go with the skin being first, and we cut out the entire thing, so that way, where do we have it over here? Right there. We cut out the entire thing, and then we're going to paint that entirely gray, because we'll just layer the white on top of that, and that's easier than have to cut this out and cut this little thing, and, you know, less cutting for you, just kind of, and it's done. Okay, so that's how I do that. Now again, we'll save this because we're going to need this for later if you're making a painting. So layer number 1. So I like to put like in a corner somewhere where it won't get too painted. 1. That's first. Now after that, we probably want to go with the white. So then the white's going to go down. So we're going to make that number 2. Number 2, and that one's going to be kind of hard. You're going to have to hold this one down with something, some kind of tool or something that you get. You know, an old end of a paintbrush or something. You can just hold that down when you're spraying it in different areas. Another thing I suggest is go to the hardware store, get you a little pack of these little nuts here. It's like $3, $4 for a little pack of nuts, and they come with different sizes, and some of these will help weigh down those things there just like that. Just be real careful getting them off. I would use like a magnet or something to get them off. Just, and it clicks to it. But get these, there's different sizes. You can also use old little things here that you find at like the flea market or something, but they have different sizes, so you can help hold things down so they don't blow as much, and just work your way around them to keep them from blowing around. The very outside, you can use cans. I actually use cans around the outside there. Okay, around the outside. But white will be number 2. Definitely, again, make sure you try to hold those down so you don't get that blow under. Okay, dark gray the eyes. We'll do the eyes last for it. Well, because the black has to go there, we're going to do the eyes next. So we'll do the eyes third. The eyes will be third on this one. And this marker is so empty. Alright, so that's the eyes here will be number 3. And then the black, because I cut out the eyebrows for right there. So, and then the black. There it is. And it will go over, and that'll be the last piece there for that. And then when you're done with that, you're going to have to go in and with a marker. You can use a Sharpie. If you use a Sharpie, I want to let you guys know, and this has nothing really to do too much with this video, but if you use a Sharpie on it and for the things, if you use clear coat, do it lightly, because the Sharpie ink will start to run if you use too much of clear coat on something. Trust me, it does run, and it can ruin your painting, and you'll be very mad at it. Otherwise, I suggest getting painter's pens. They have different brands and stuff like that. They can be pretty pricey though, so it's up to you. Use a Sharpie, be very careful. Use very little or no clear coat on top of it, or use painter's pens. You can clear coat on top of those. Those are acrylic. These here are alcohol-based markers. Okay, so I think that's it. It just puts the ink down, the alcohol evaporates, the ink stays there, but the clear coat just re-evaporates, just like re-wets that that ink for whatever reason. So not very permanent, huh? But that's just something to be aware of. Otherwise, just use a really small, thin brush to do your lines, and then do your lines and reconnect these, because your face lines here in the neck and the chest here, over here on the arm, and things like that. And then over here where we didn't connect them together, you want to go around and just retouch up things, and it's going to look really nice, guys. Alright, I'll show you what I mean at the end of this. I'll put it together for you guys so you can see what I'm talking about. And we use this if you're doing a painting. I will explain to you at the end of the video why we have this here. You guys have probably seen me use them like that in other videos. Alright guys, so let's get to there and paint these, and we have to paint one layer at a time. Let it dry, because if you stick your stencil down on it, especially these paper ones from the computer paper ones, if you stick that stencil down and it is even the slightest tacky, I mean, you should be able to put your fingers on it, hold it there for a second, and when you pull it up, it doesn't leave any fingerprints or anything like that, because this sits down there. It collects even the smallest piece of moisture just in one spot. Like you feel over here in this stripe, this little spot isn't. You're going to ruin your stencil. You're going to rip it up. It's going to rip up other paint. Some of the stencil paper will rip and stay down there on the painting, and you will be more than ticked. Okay? So make sure you let every layer dry really well. That's why stencil like art takes a while. I've had a piece that a 10 layer piece whatever take me about 2 days to finish, and that's just doing the stencil, painting each layer and then doing the background for it as well. It takes a while, guys, and that was a really big piece. So let's get to it. Let me move this mat and we will get to making that painting, guys, and putting that together to show you what it's like. And we'll save this for another day. Okay, guys, so yeah, don't worry about all the blow over here, because afterwards when you do your background painting you're going to make that disappear anyways. So what you want is just to make sure you get these corners, don't make these too dark, don't go over them again in the other layers or they'll get really dark. Make sure you leave them the color of the first layer or something lighter than the first layer if your first layer is really dark, because they will show up through a painting, or take a lot to cover up. So to keep them light, but there it is. Don't worry again about that, because that will be covered up in the painting behind it. But we need to let this dry completely, so it's going to take a good 15 minutes for that to dry, and we'll be right back, guys. And there we go, guys. We can see it's starting to come together, as you see. So we're going to let that dry, and then we'll be right back to do the next layer, guys. Okay, so just keep in mind, be sure you can rewind it if you need to check it out again. And you can also slow it down inside the settings section, the little gear. You can click that and you can slow it down if you needed to slow it down, guys. Okay? Okay, guys, so let me just shake this can up here and get this in place so we can do this last layer here, and then I'll show you what that one piece is for. Right. You know what, guys? We're going to hit that with just a little bit of purple just to liven it up a little bit when we pull it off. Give it that wow factor, right? Alright, guys, let's get this off here and check it out. Just a little misting of that purple, I think, would just be a little, just a little different. You guys do what you want to do with it. You know, we were going with black. I think that purple kind of will lend a little nicely to it. Let's see how it works. That was actually a different brand, so I hope it didn't run too much underneath there. Uh-oh, that paint wasn't quite fully dry, guys. Uh-oh. Yeah, that paint wasn't fully dry. See how it wasn't fully dry, guys? This is what I'm saying. So we're going to leave it like that as a lesson to show you guys, see? And that's because it wasn't fully dry. And what I think happened, actually, it was dry. But, yeah, see, I think the paper absorbed too much paint there, and it re-wet it, is what happened. But anyways, guys, that's the gist of it there. Let me find my marker. So now you can keep your little image here. Alright, we got our marker here. So now we can keep our little image here. And notice what we want to do with it. So we can, so personally I would do the outside first and then do this, but I'm going to go ahead and do a lot of this in stuff here to show you guys. And actually we need a little bit of white to fill in that one spot, so let's see if this white will work for me today. Oh no, it's crappy white, a horrible white. So this white doesn't match that white, but it'll be alright. You guys get the gist of what's happening here. So the idea was just this white pen is horrible. Anyways, yeah, well, I would do this perfectly if it was for somebody, but this is just to show you guys. So let's get the lines here, guys. So we have the eyes. You can see where everything is. So we have the eyes, so let's bring it around. Let's bring it around, yep. And then we bring it down some, right? So just do the best you can with it. Have some fun with it. Bring this down, and then bring it that way some a little bit. And we can refill in some of these, make the eyebrows a little darker. There we go. You can even fill in the eyes some if you really wanted to. I'm probably going to fill them all the way in. I don't really like that gray looking thing I made with it, so there's that. And then bring the lines down and around things. So here we go. Fill in the face. There we go. You can see this one here goes up here, so if you take your time and you use care while making your stencils and using your stencils, it will come out a lot better than this here, guys. This is, like, I would definitely go check out my video on how to make your stencils, your paper stencils, more durable, and that'll help prevent a lot of that blow under, as well as having it stuck if it got a little too wet and re-wet the under layer. It'll prevent that some as well, guys, and you won't have to get too upset with your end results like I am a little upset at these end results. As for the rest of this blow under on the outside, that's gonna disappear. That will disappear. Alright guys, so there we go. You kind of get the gist of what we're after here and everything. We let this completely dry, and the paint pens actually dry very quick. Like you see, it's already dry. I'm a little worried about these here. I don't really want to set that down and ruin it, but we're gonna give it a go and see what happens. So, the reason we keep this is simple. Once again, guys, please go check out that video on how we do this, how we get the paper here to not be as thin, how we can coat our paper and make it a better stencil, guys. Go check that out. Get that looked at, guys. You're gonna like that. It's gonna be very helpful to you guys in the end. But we put this here as a way of keeping it safe, and then doing your painting around it, guys. So I think we'll just throw some green down as an example, the back or something, guys. Alright. Wow, we got this color thing going. It kind of looks like a Green Lantern, right? Let's peel this off here and finish this up, guys. But you make your painting however you want to make it when you do it, but you get that. And once again, take real good care of making your stencils and take your time making them, and it won't come out looking as sloppy. Guys, I did this for video real quick just to help a couple of you guys out as a guideline for you guys. But anyways, this is pretty much how we would go about making this here, guys. So using your stencils, making your stencils out of something, do check out the video. I'm going to put the video link in the description down below for you guys on how to make those the paper stencils a little more sturdy, a little stronger, and hopefully that will help you guys out a lot, guys. So another thing is, normally after this here, oh, I missed this spot right up top there. Oh, I did, didn't I? Oh, well. Alright, can was on the, oh, yep. You can see it, the can was in it, over the edge. Ah, well, you guys will take better care of making your painting than that for that, guys. Drawing the lines on things, I would do it after I did this, because you see how it covered up a lot of it, and that will help it to stand out. I would do it afterwards. But that is pretty much it, guys. I do hope you enjoyed that. I hope it's helpful to you guys and cleared a few things up. I'm always working on making a better tutorial video of all these different things for you guys, just to help. So you may see the same video again and again, just done different ways. But usually every video is going to have something a little different in it that I thought of to help you guys out. So be sure to watch everything. Hit subscribe if you haven't already, guys, and click like for me. Because this video, you know, even though the picture came out maybe not as perfect as a lot of the other paintings that I do, this tutorial is to help you guys out, so please click like for me, and let your friends know about the channel, because we have art things that we make here for people who, you know, that aren't tutorials, for people who just want to watch things be made. So this channel has a little bit of something for everyone. Do come over, guys, and invite people to check out the channel, guys. You guys are amazing. Thank you very much for all the support over the years. We'll see you guys in the next video, and remember, guys, keep creating.